The power-ups in the Super Mario Galaxy games function differently from the ones in the 2D Mario games and in 3D Land and 3D World. They are mainly used as stage-specific gimmicks to solve puzzles or to navigate particular platforming sections. Today, I'll be ranking these power-ups from worst to best and placing them on a tier list as we go. If you enjoyed this type of content, then consider subscribing and don't forget to leave your own ranking in the comments. I make Nintendo speculation and prediction videos here on this channel. But before we begin, I need to clarify two things. First, I am not counting Yoshi himself as a power-up. He is a sidekick or like companion. However, I am including the power-ups that he can obtain, such as the blimp fruit. Second, some of these power-ups may be ranked lower because they aren't utilized to their full potential. A power-up might be great, but if it's barely in the game, there's really no reason to give it much praise. Alright, let's get started. The spring mushroom. I absolutely hate this power-up. Can you even call it a power-up when it basically restricts nearly all of Mario's moveset? You can't jump properly, you can't spin attack, you can't long jump or triple jump. The only thing you can do is spring yourself really high. And even that isn't really easy to control, since maneuvering Mario feels clunky and it can get pretty frustrating at times. I am glad that it's not in Galaxy 2 as much. I believe it only appears in Chompworks Galaxy and then that's it. It's not in any other galaxy. I'd much rather just do a triple jump than use this power up to reach higher places, because I just have better control. F tier. Bee mushroom. I honestly think this power up is a bit overhated. I do like the ability to fly and stick to certain walls, which allowed for some creative platforming moments. That said, this power up suffers from the same problems as the spring mushroom. Your movement is very limited. You can't triple jump or long jump, which are essential moves to this game. And to be honest, the flying feels slow and very clunky when you can't quite reach a ledge on time. This power-up could have been much better if the flying was faster and the movement wasn't so restricted. Maybe you had to just press X to fly instead of just jumping to fly, so you were able to long jump or triple jump, for example. Oh wait, the Wii remote did not have an X, never mind. D tier. This one is basically a reskin of the classic invincibility star from the 2D Mario games. You become invincible for a short time, and that ability feels incredibly satisfying. So why is it ranked so low? Well, you barely even see it in the game, which makes sense because it's more of a bonus power-up. I don't have any complaints about it, it's just not treated like a traditional power-up compared to the others where you find it throughout your adventure. You just find it in bonus areas. My favorite part using this power-up is probably in that one bonus stage in Galaxy 2 where you are timed and must defeat all enemies quickly to earn the 1-ups. It's unfortunate that there aren't more of those kinds of sections. C tier. Blimp fruit, the very first Yoshi power-up on this list. I love how Yoshi inflates into a big balloon, allowing you to reach higher places. This one is definitely handled better than the bee mushroom. While the bee form was really slow to use, this power-up offers smoother control and better speed. Another thing that makes sense for this power-up is that it doesn't last forever. The bee mushroom did last forever, which wasn't ideal since your movement was limited, as I mentioned earlier. This is a pretty good power-up overall, but it's one of those that's quick and done. It doesn't provide that much depth or like interesting platforming challenges like the other Yoshi power-ups do. It's very bare bones. C tier. This power-up is incredibly fun to use, but sadly, it is not utilized to its full potential. It's only used in the Comet Observatory and a mini level, I guess. There are no major platforming segments or puzzles built around it, which really sucks. This could have easily been an A or even S tier power up if it had been featured more, because the ability to freely fly through space is amazing. Unfortunately, it just wasn't showcased enough, so C tier. Boo Mushroom! This is an overall enjoyable power up to use. It feels smooth, has no time limit, and is used in some clever ways. There are moments where you need to become invisible to pass through certain walls, which adds a nice twist. Also, the ghostly design of Mario in this form is one of my favorites. Using this power up and you're scaring Luigi in Ghostly Galaxy is pretty funny as well. It's just Mario becomes Luigi's biggest fear. My only complaint is that it's rarely used in the game. In Galaxy 2, it only appears in a single mission, which is disappointing in my opinion. Like, I love this power, but like, I feel like it didn't reach its full potential, like the red star. Low B tier. Drill. I have somewhat mixed feelings about this one. There are moments where I like it, and times when I just don't like this at all. Once again, this power-up restricts Mario's movement, which is never great. However, drilling through planets to get to the other side is really fun and creative. It adds interesting puzzle and platforming elements, though not all of them are perfect, as some angles can feel more annoying than engaging. Normally, I would rank it in C tier, but this power-up truly shines in the boss fight against Dig-a-Leg. That battle is one of my favorites in Galaxy 2, and the way this ability is used there is perfectly done. You need to aim for specific spots to defeat Dig-a-Leg, which makes great use of the mechanic. So mainly because of that, I'm gonna put it in B tier. Fire Flower. The classic Fire Flower is handled differently in this game. Instead of lasting forever, it's on a timer. I understand, I guess, like it could be overpowered, but I'm not a fan of it. Still, it's a solid power-up overall. Shooting fireballs at enemies from afar is an effective way to fight them. It's also needed to break boxes and progress through certain areas. I especially like the Galaxy 2 mission where you have to destroy all the boxes within a time limit, testing your precision. It's simple and not the most inventive power-up, but it's used pretty effectively in these games. Sadly, that timer holds it back for me, but still solid B tier. Ice Flower. Unfortunately, this one suffers from the same issue as the Fire Flower, the time limit. However, I rank it higher because I feel like it's more creative of a power-up than the Fire one. You can use it to create platforms over water or lava, which I absolutely love. I'm a sucker for abilities that can create their own platforms. They really elevate platforming in the best way. I also love how it mixes lava and ice environments. Even though it's a familiar concept now, at the time it felt incredibly cool and fresh. I feel if it didn't have the timer and it had better utilization, and maybe if it was in Galaxy 2, because it's not, it could have been an S tier or like second place, but I'm just gonna put it in low A tier. Still a great power up and fun to use. Dash Pepper. It might seem odd to have this Yoshi power up ranked this high, but I think it's done excellently. Yes, it has a timer, but I think it makes sense here. This is a speed-based ability, so having a timer fits perfectly. With the Fire Flower, it didn't make sense because that's a combat ability. Anyways, I absolutely love this power-up. It enhances the platforming sections in the best way possible. Since you are moving at lightning speed, you have to constantly plan your movements, which makes the gameplay thrilling. My only gripe is that it appears only like 2 times in Galaxy 2. The main highlight is Hytale Falls Galaxy. I wish there had been a harder and more dedicated galaxy centered around it later in the game. Still a solid A tier. Starting off the top 3, we've got the bulb berry. This one and the dash pepper can be interchangeable for me, depending on how I feel. But I rank this one higher because it's used more effectively. Again, it makes sense as a timed power-up since it encourages fast-paced platforming. It blends gameplay and atmosphere perfectly. The atmosphere is very empty and mysterious because the platforms are invisible, but the bulb berry reveals these hidden paths. It's such an awesome mechanic. Another plus is that this power-up still gives you full control over Yoshi, unlike with the other abilities. A tier for sure. Rock Mushroom. This is easily one of the most satisfying power-ups to use. You can just smash through tons of enemies and it feels amazing. It's not only great for combat, but also for platforming, especially in Melty Molten Galaxy, where you need to time jumps carefully and watch where you're going. And thank goodness there's no timer on this power-up, nor does it remove long jumps or triple jumps like a lot of the other power-ups do. Every time I transform into a boulder, I feel powerful and unstoppable, which is exactly what a power-up should do. Enhance and empower Mario in a creative way. A tier for sure. Cloud Flower. If you've seen my previous Galaxy 2 videos, you know I've praised this power-up endlessly. This is without a question the best power-up. Not just in the Galaxy games, but in any Mario game in my opinion. You literally create your own platforms whenever you want. This ability ties deeply into the level design, testing your calculation and precision skills, especially during the boss fight against Bowser Jr. in World 5. It is utilized to its fullest potential. It has no silly time limit, no movement restrictions. It enhances the platforming to the next level. Another feature I love is how collecting another cloud flower recharges the amount of clouds to 3. If the developers thought the fire flower was too overpowered, which is why they gave it a timer, I wish they had used this recharge method instead. The Cloud Flower is also the most used one out of any power-up in the Galaxy games, I believe, appearing in nearly like every world of Galaxy 2, and the stages featuring it, like Fluffy Bluff Galaxy, Cloudy Core Galaxy, Bowser's Galaxy Generator, it's used even in the final level, and even Grandmaster Galaxy, the final level of the entire game, are some of the best in the series. I'll probably rank all the galaxies soon. Yes, like every single galaxy. So stay tuned for that. If you couldn't tell already, this is an S tier power up. That's going to wrap it up for today's video. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know your ranking in the comments. And tell me if I should rank every single galaxy next. I probably will. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.